chosen one. Yes, you, the one who felt the road bend a moment ago before you knew there was a turn. Before we begin, do something for me. Sit down. If there's a door near you, close it. Put your phone face down on the table, screen against the wood, where nothing can reach for you while we talk. Unclench your jaw. You didn't notice you were holding it. And breathe out, all the way out. Not a polite little breath, the long one, the one that empties you, and let the next breath arrive on its own. Good. That's the chosen one I'm speaking to. Now listen, because tonight there is a thing that has already been decided, and you were the last one meant to feel it. A road you thought was closed to you was never closed. It was moved. The block you ran into was not the end of your way. It was the hand that turned you off a road that led nowhere good, onto one that leads somewhere far better than the one they kept for themselves. And the road they kept, the one they blocked you from and walked down instead, that road just went cold. Hold that. I am not going to tell you yet who moved it, or what is waiting at the end of the new one. That comes later, when you are ready to hear it, and not a second before. For now, I only want you to sit with the shape of it, because you have been carrying the wrong story about this for a long time. For years, you remembered it as a wall. That's the word your mind used. Wall. The thing you were up against. The door that would not open. The road that was suddenly closed. The way forward that everyone else seemed to have, and you did not. You stood in front of it, and you did the thing people do in front of walls. You blamed the one standing there. You blamed your hands. You blamed your timing, your name, the year you were born into, the small things about yourself you were sure had disqualified you. And somebody, somewhere, was glad to let you believe it. Because it cost them nothing, and it kept you standing still while they took the road they had cleared you off of. You told yourself the block was a verdict. It was not a verdict, chosen one. It was a turn. Here is what I need you to understand before anything else. A road that closes in front of you is one of two things, and only one of two things. It is either a punishment or a redirection. And the way you tell them apart is not by how it felt. They feel identical from inside. They feel like the same cold refusal, the same closed face, the same nothing where you expected a way through. You cannot tell them apart by the feeling. You can only tell them apart by where the other road went. You could not see where the other road went. That was the whole problem. You were standing at the block, staring at the block, certain the block was the story. You never turned your head to watch the road they took instead. If you had, you would have seen it start to narrow almost immediately. You would have watched it shrink and cool and lead them somewhere smaller than they promised themselves. But you weren't looking at their road. You were mourning yours. Let me put something down for you right now before we go a single step further. No, you did not fail to get through. No, you were not too weak to break the wall. No, you did not miss the window. There was no window because it was never a wall with a window in it. It was a barrier put across a bad road on purpose by something that could see the map you could not see. What felt like being kept out was being kept off. And being kept off a road that goes cold is not a loss. It is the oldest kind of mercy there is. If this is landing where it's supposed to land, chosen one, do one small thing. Tap the like and subscribe not for me. This message goes further when it moves, and somewhere out there is someone standing in front of a wall right now, exactly where you were, certain it is a verdict when it is only a turn. Pay it forward to them. That's the whole mission. Now let me show you the shape of this, because it does not only happen to you. It happens everywhere someone is quietly turned off one road and onto a better one, and calls the turn a defeat. Only the costumes change. Picture the workplace. A door that should have opened stays shut. The promotion goes sideways. The offer cools. The room you were sure you belonged in decides, for reasons no one will name, that it is not for you. And you carry that like a mark on your record for years. And then, a season on, you watch what that room became. You watch the ceiling everyone in it hit. You watch the whole thing narrow and go quiet and lead nowhere, while the closed door turned you towards something you could not have reached if you had been let in. The block was not against you. It was for you, and it looked exactly like being against you, because that is the only way a redirection ever looks from the inside. Picture the relationship, a thing you wanted badly that would not come together. A person, a place, a life you were sure you were meant for that kept refusing to arrive no matter how you reached for it. And you grieved it as a failure of your own worth. And then, later, you saw what that road actually was, who that person actually became, where that life would have taken you. And you understood with a cold clarity that the closing was the kindest thing that ever happened to you, and that you spent years resenting the one gift you could not yet read. Picture the plan, the whole shape of a future you had drawn for yourself that kept getting blocked at the last turn. The money that did not come, the move that fell through, the yes that turned into a no on the final day. And you added them up like evidence of a life that would not cooperate. And then the light came up on where all of it was leading, and you saw that every single block turned you a few degrees off a road that ended cold, and onto one that bends, quietly, toward exactly where you are supposed to be. 3 rooms, 1 law. Every time a road blocked that looked like the end, and a road opened that no one was looking at, and a person mourning the wrong one. Imagine this, a river running through a valley, running the same way it has always run, toward a low, flat basin where it will spread out thin and stop, and turn to standing water and go stale in the sun. And one season upstream, something falls across it, a slide of rock, a fallen ridge, a wall of stone the river never asked for and cannot move. And the river hits that wall, and for a while, it looks like the end of the river. It pools, it backs up. It seems to anything living in it like the water has failed. But water does not fail at a wall. Water turns. It finds the lower ground the wall reveals, and it goes a new way. A way it never would have found if the old way had stayed open. And it carves a new channel through country it was never going to see. And it arrives, in the end, not at the stale basin, but at the sea. The wall did not stop the river. The wall was the only thing that ever could have sent it to the ocean. That is your road, chosen one. The block was the ridge that fell. And you have been grieving the pool, when the pool was just the river turning. Now hear the part that changes everything, and this is the door into what comes next. The road they blocked you from was not a good road they kept from you out of spite. It was a road they wanted for themselves, and they took it, and it went cold. That is the piece that turns this whole thing over. They did not block you off a better road to keep it. They blocked you off a worse one and walked down it themselves. thinking they had won the map. And now they are standing at the cold end of it, and only just beginning to understand what the block actually did. Here's the line they can't say out loud. We didn't keep them off the good road. We cleared them off the one that was killing us. So no, you did not lose the race for that road. No, you were not too slow to claim it. You were turned, early and firmly, off a road you would have fought your whole life to stay on, by something that could see the cold at the end of it, while you could still only see the shine at the front. Which brings you to the part you actually came for, not the reassurance, the mechanism. 12 pieces of exactly how a block becomes a redirection, exactly how the road was moved, and exactly why theirs went cold, laid out in order, so you can recognize each turn while you are standing inside it, and stop mistaking the mercy for a wall. Now, before we go any further, this is the part where the room thins out. Some of you came here out of curiosity. You saw the title, you felt a small pull, you clicked. There is no judgment in that. But right around now, the merely curious start to drift. They go looking for the next thing, the next voice, the next promise. Let them go. This was never built to hold everyone. The ones this was made for are doing the opposite. You are leaning in. You got quieter. Something in your chest went still, the way it does when a stranger describes a turn in your own road that you have never told anyone about. And here is where I can finally tell you what has been moving the road, because you have earned the name now, and the ones who drifted off did not need it. There is a hand that goes ahead of you, not beside you, not behind you, ahead, on the road before you reach it. And it does two things, always the same two things, and it never explains either one. It closes the roads that lead to cold ground, and it lays the road that leads to better country, quietly, out past the fence line, past the place where everyone told you the map ended. Every wall you ever hit was that hand, closing a way that would have cost you everything. Every strange opening, every turn that appeared where there should have been none, was that same hand, having already laid the road. You never saw it because it was never in front of you. It was always one bend further on than you had reached. By the time you arrived, the work was done and the hand was gone around the next curve. You experienced only the results, a road closed here, a road opened there, and you read the closings as walls and the openings as luck. They were the same thing. They were both the hand ahead of you moving the road. That is what has been happening. Not luck, not punishment. Rerouting, done by a hand that goes ahead and never turns around to be thanked. If that is you, chosen one, if something in you just went still at the word ahead, do this one thing. Go down to the comments and drop the number 999. Just that. Not for luck. Not because it is trending. 999 is the number that comes at the end of a thing. The number of a road that is finished bending and is ready to be walked. Drop it as a signal, plain and simple, that your turn is complete and you intend to walk this all the way through. Consider it a quiet hand raised in a still room. I will see it. Others will see it, and they will know they are not the only ones standing at a turn tonight. And while you are there, the like and the subscribe keep this reaching the people who need it. Here is what comes next. Not more feeling. 12 pieces, laid out in order, showing you exactly how the block became the better road, and exactly why the one they kept went cold in their hands. Number 1. The block was placed, not encountered. You did not run into a wall. A wall was set in front of you. on purpose, before you ever arrived. Go back to it in your mind the moment the road closed. You remember it as something you hit, some obstacle that happened to be in your way, bad luck taking a solid shape. But look at the timing of it, chosen one, because the timing is the whole tell. It did not appear when you were far off and could turn easily. It appeared at the last possible step, right as you were reaching for the thing, right when the yes should have come. That is not how obstacles work. Obstacles are already there. You walk into them. This one arrived. It was placed at the exact moment placement mattered most, by something that had been watching your approach. Here is why the timing had to be late. A block set early is a block you route around and forget. You would have found another way to the same cold road because you wanted that road. And a person who wants a road badly enough will always find a second door to it. The block had to come late when there was no time to find another door, because the point was never to slow you down. The point was to turn you completely off that road for good. Imagine this: a driver on a mountain pass at night, headlights only reaching so far, certain of the road because they have driven it 100 times in the day. And ahead, around a curve they cannot see past, the road is gone, washed out, dropped into the dark, 100 feet of nothing where the asphalt used to be. And someone who knows, someone already up there in the dark, drags a barrier across the road a quarter-mile back, not to punish the driver, to turn them hard before the curve onto the gravel detour that looks like an insult and is the only thing keeping them out of the ravine. The driver curses the barrier. The driver never sees the washout. The driver arrives home alive, complaining the whole way about the block that saved their life. That is you at that closed road. You cursed the barrier. You never saw the ravine. Here's the line they can't say out loud. That wasn't in their way by accident. Something put it there, and it knew what we didn't. No, you did not fail to break through. No, you were not too weak to move the wall. You were turned, deliberately, a quarter-mile short of a drop you would not have survived. And you have spent years apologizing for not driving off the edge. The block was never a block. It was a hand on the wheel. Number 2. The road they kept was the cold one. What they blocked you from, they took, and it is going cold in their hands. This is the piece that flips the whole story, so slow down and let it turn. You have always assumed the blocked road was the good one. That is why the block hurt. You thought they kept you off the prize and stood on it themselves, laughing, winning. But look again at what they actually did. They did not clear you off a road so they could give you a worse one. They cleared you off a road and walked down it because they wanted it, because it looked like the prize to them too. And here is what neither of you knew at the time. The road was cold at the far end. It narrowed. It led to smaller rooms, lower ceilings, tighter company, a version of the future that shrinks the person walking it. You could not see that from the block, neither could they. The only difference between you and them is that you were turned off it and they stayed on. Imagine this: 2 travelers at a fork, and one gate is barred and one gate is open. The barred one leads, they are both certain, to the green country, the good land, the place worth having. So one traveler rages at the barred gate and finally gives up and takes the open road out of nothing but exhaustion, and the other slips through the open gate to the barred road, triumphant, sure they have won the better way. And the barred road runs mile after mile into higher and colder ground, thinning trees, harder wind, until it dead ends against a stone face with nothing on the other side. And the open road, the consolation road, the one taken in defeat, bends down through warming valleys toward water and light, and a whole country the barred road never touched. The gate that looked like a punishment was the mercy. The gate that looked like a prize was the trap. You might wonder why they seem to be doing so well right now, this far in, if the road they took is the cold one. Because a cold road does not announce its temperature at the start. It is warmest at the beginning, chosen one. The narrowing comes later, when they are too far down to turn back, when the walls of it have closed in enough that there is no room to make the U-turn you were forced to make years ago at the barrier. They are still in the warm part. The cold is ahead of them, and there is no hand going ahead of them to move the road. Here's the line they can't say out loud. We got the road we wanted, and it's getting colder, and we can't figure out why. No, you did not lose the good road. You were saved from the cold one, and the ones who took it from you took exactly what they asked for. The road they kept is going cold. Yours already turned toward the sun. Number 3, the narrowing you never had to walk. You were pulled off the road before it closed in. They are walking the part you were spared. There is a mercy in a redirection that you cannot feel while it is happening, and it is this. The block does not just turn you off the bad road. It spares you every mile of it you would otherwise have had to walk to find out it was bad. You never had to feel the road narrow around you. You never had to reach the point where you realized, too late, that you had given years to a way that was always going to end at a wall. You were turned at the mouth of it, and you got to keep all the miles you would have spent proving it was wrong. Look at what that actually saved. Not just the destination, the walking, the slow discovery, the sunk years. The particular grief of a person who is deep into a road and can feel it closing and cannot admit they chose it. That grief is expensive, chosen one, and you never had to pay it. The block cost you a moment of pain at the barrier. Staying on the road would have cost you the slow pain of the whole descent. Imagine this, a hallway that looks grand at the entrance, wide and bright and promising, and it draws people in. But it is built like a funnel. Every 20 feet, it is a little narrower than the last, so gradually that no one notices they are being squeezed until they are turned sideways, until their shoulders are against both walls, until they cannot lift their arms, and still they push forward because they have come too far to go back. And at the far end, there is no door, just the point where the walls finally meet. And someone, near the entrance, is turned away by a rope across the opening. They never feel the squeeze. They never learn in their own body how the bright hallway ends. They are simply spared the whole length of it. And before we go any deeper, chosen one, do one small thing. If this is landing where it was meant to land, drop 999 in the comments. Not for me, but as a quiet hand raised in a crowded room. A way of saying, I am here. I am one of the ones this was written for. 999. The number of a cycle finishing. A season closing on time. A thing completed. Leave it below and let the next chosen one see they are not the only one who stayed. You are the one turned away at the rope. And the ones who blocked you are somewhere in the middle of that hallway right now, sideways, arms pinned, still telling themselves it opens up ahead. You spent years thinking you were kept out of the grand hallway. You were kept out of the funnel. Those are different things, chosen one, and only one of them is a loss. Here's the line they can't say out loud. It's getting tighter in here, and there's no room left to turn around. No, you did not miss the good hallway. No, you were not left behind. You were stopped at the rope, spared the squeeze, and turned toward a door with actual country behind it. The narrowing was never yours to walk. That was the whole point of the block. Number 4. The redirect always looks like rejection. Nobody narrates a turn while it is happening, so you felt it as a wall. Here is why you could not read it correctly at the time, and it is nobody's failure, least of all yours. A redirection, while it is happening, is indistinguishable from a refusal. The mechanism is silent. No one steps out from behind the block to say, "This is for you. This is a turn. The road ahead was going to cost you everything. Trust the barrier." That announcement never comes because the announcement would ruin the whole thing. If you had been told, you would have argued. You would have insisted the blocked road was the one you wanted. You would have fought the hand that was trying to save you out of the reasonable panic of a person who cannot see past the next curve. So the turn arrives wordless. It arrives as a closed door with no explanation attached. And a closed door with no explanation is read by the human heart as one thing only. You were not wanted. You were not enough. You were turned down. You supplied the story yourself because the block came without one. And the story you reached for was the cruelest available, the way it always is at 3 in the morning. Imagine this: a ship's pilot in fog and a lighthouse keeper on the rocks who can see the whole coastline the pilot cannot. And the keeper sees the ship heading for a reef hidden just under the surface, dead ahead, on the exact line the pilot has chosen. So the keeper does the only thing he can. He puts out the light on that side. He goes dark, deliberately, in the one direction the ship is aiming, so the pilot loses his mark and turns toward the light still burning further down the coast, toward deep water and safe harbor. And the pilot, in the fog, curses the lighthouse that went dark on him at the worst possible moment. He does not know the dark was aimed. He does not know the going out of the light was the most careful thing anyone did for him all night. That is the block, chosen one. A light that went dark on purpose in the exact direction of the reef. Here's the line they can't say out loud. They think that door closed on them. That door closed for them. No, you did not get rejected. No, you were not turned away for lacking something. You were steered in fog by a keeper who could see the reef under your chosen line and chose to go dark rather than watch you run onto it. Every rejection you are still carrying is a light that went out to turn you. Stop reading the darkness as an insult. Read it as a heading. Number 5. The better road was already built. It was not waiting for you to earn it. It was poured before you turned. Here is a thing that will take a moment to land, because you were trained to believe every good road has to be built by the one who walks it. You think the new way opened because you finally did something right, because you worked hard enough, because you deserved it at last. That is a beautiful story, and it is not what happened. The road you turned onto was already there, finished, poured and set and waiting, before the block ever went up behind you. The block and the road were the same act, one hand, closing the cold way and revealing the warm one it had already made. That is why the new road appeared so fast once you gave up on the old one. You noticed that, the speed of it, The way that once you finally stopped throwing yourself at the closed door and turned, the next thing seemed to arrive almost too easily, as if it had been sitting there the whole time. It had. It was not built in response to your surrender. It was revealed by it. You could not see the road you were standing next to because you were facing the wall. Imagine this. A person locked, they believe, in a bare room, pounding on the one door they came in through, hour after hour, certain it is the only way out, and certain it will not open. And behind them, the whole time, on the wall they never turned to face, there is another door, already unlocked, standing slightly open, with light coming through the gap and a warm hallway on the other side. It was open before they started pounding. It did not open because they finally gave up on the first door. It was simply on the wall they were not looking at, waiting for them to turn around. The turning was the only thing that ever had to happen. You might wonder why it was hidden, why the better road was not just shown to you plainly so you could stop suffering at the wall. Because a road you are handed and a road you turn toward make two different people. If the new way had been announced, you would have walked it as a consolation, resentful, always glancing back at the door that closed. Because you found it by turning, you walk it as your own. The hiddenness was not neglect. It was the difference between a person who was rescued and a person who turned. Here's the line they can't say out loud. It was already there. It was always already there. No, you did not build the new road in the nick of time. No, you did not barely earn it. You turned around and it had been poured for you before you ever hit the wall. The better road was never a reward for quitting the old one. It was the reason you were blocked from it. Number 6. Their road has no hand ahead of it. Yours does. That is the whole difference between the two of you. Understand what actually separates your road from theirs now, because it is not luck and it is not merit. It is that something goes ahead of you and nothing goes ahead of them. On your road, the reefs are found before you reach them. The washouts are barricaded a quarter-mile back. The cold ends are closed and the warm ways revealed. On their road, the one they blocked you from and kept, there is no such hand. Nothing goes ahead. Every reef is a surprise. Every washout is a plunge. They are driving the pass in the dark, with no one up ahead to drag a barrier across before the drop. That is why their road goes cold and yours does not, even though both roads have hardship on them. It was never about which road had no walls. Both have walls. The difference is who hits the wall unwarned. On their road, the wall is the ravine they drive into. On yours, the wall is the barrier that turns you before the ravine. Same walls, opposite meanings, because one road has a hand ahead of it and one does not. Imagine this: two expeditions crossing the same range of mountains in the same season, and one has a scout, a single figure who goes out ahead each night, unseen, reading the passes, marking the crevasses, turning the party a mile east before it walks on to the ice that will not hold. The other expedition has no scout. It walks confident, fast, straight, proud of its pace. And for a while, the scouted party looks slower, more cautious, forever turning aside for no reason the party itself can see. But one crosses, and one does not. And the difference was never strength or speed or desire. The difference was that one of them had someone ahead in the dark, and the other only found out where the ice was thin by standing on it. You know it the same way you know there was a scout by your own survival. Look at the crevasses you turned aside from for no reason you could name at the time. Look at the roads you lost the appetite for a week before they collapsed. Look at how often you arrived on the far side of something intact, more often than a person walking alone in the dark should. You did not see the hand, chosen one. You are the evidence of the hand. Here's the line they can't say out loud. Nobody's turning us before the bad ground. We only find it by falling. No, you were not just lucky where they were unlucky. No, it was not random which of you got the cold road. You have a scout ahead of you in the dark. They walked confidently onto the ice. The road with a hand ahead of it and the road without one look identical at the fork. You only tell them apart by who arrives. Number 7. The block cost them nothing to celebrate and everything to keep. They cheered a road that is now theirs to survive. Watch what happened in their minds at the moment of the block, because they misread it as completely as you did, just in the other direction. When the road closed to you and opened to them, they felt it as a victory. They got the thing. They kept you off it. From where they stood, it was clean and total. The prize was theirs. The rival was turned away. The story was over, and they had won it. Nothing about that moment warned them that they had not won a prize. They had signed for a road, and a road is not a trophy. A trophy you win once and set on a shelf. A road you have to walk, every mile of it, all the way to whatever it ends in. They celebrated the winning and never thought about the walking. They are walking it now. Every cold mile of the thing they were so glad to take from you is a mile they now have to survive, and there is no shelf to set it on and no way to give it back. Imagine this. 2 people bidding against each other for a house, and one of them fights and overbids and wins, triumphant, holding the keys up while the other walks away stung and empty-handed. And then the winner moves in, and the roof is failing, and the foundation is going, and every season is a new expense, a new collapse, a new thing that has to be held together at ruinous cost. And the keys they held up in victory are now the keys to a thing that is eating them alive. And the one who lost the bidding, the one who walked away stung, rents a small, dry place across town and sleeps fine, and drives past the grand failing house sometimes, and finally understands what losing that auction actually spared them. You are the one who lost the auction, chosen one. They are inside the house they won, holding the roof up with both hands. And whether or not they ever understand that the block did them the harm and you the favor does not matter. The road grades them the same either way. Understanding is not required for the cold to arrive. Here's the line they can't say out loud. We won the thing, and now the thing is winning. No, they did not beat you to the prize. They outbid you for the ruin. And you walked away from the auction with the one thing they spent everything to lose. A road that does not cost you your life to hold. The block cost them nothing to celebrate. It is costing them everything to keep. Number 8. You cannot go back, and that is the mercy. The old road is closed behind you too, so you cannot unturn. Here is a fear you have carried quietly, and I want to take it out and look at it in the light, because it has been draining you. Some part of you has wondered whether you should have fought harder for the blocked road, whether you gave up too easily, whether if you had just pushed a little longer at that closed door, it would have opened, and your life would have been the one on the other side. That regret has cost you sleep. Let me end it, because it is built on a thing that was never true. You could not have gotten through. Not because you were weak, because the block was not the kind that opens for effort. It was set by the hand ahead of you, and a barrier set to save your life does not lift for pounding. You were never one hard push away from the blocked road. You were turned fully, and the turning was final, and the finality is the mercy. Because a redirection that you could reverse would not be a redirection. It would be a suggestion, and you would have talked yourself back onto the cold road 100 times on 100 hard nights. The block held so that you could not unturn even when you wanted to, even now, especially now. Imagine this: a river that has cut a new channel after the ridge fell across the old one, and the old channel behind it drying out, filling with stone and root, closing season by season until it is not a riverbed at all anymore, just a low place in the ground where water used to be. The river could not go back if it tried. There is nothing to go back to. The old way did not just close in front, it closed behind completely, so that the only direction left is the new one, toward the sea. That total closing is not a loss of options. It is the removal of the one option that would have killed it. The river is free precisely because it cannot return. It only feels hard while you still half want the old road. But you are past that, chosen one, further past it than you know, and the day is coming when you will be grateful down to the ground that the block behind you held as firmly as the block in front, that you were never given the option to crawl back onto the road that goes cold. Here's the line they can't say out loud. They can't come back and take it. The way back closed for them the day it closed for us. No, you did not give up too easily on the old road. No, you did not fail to fight for it. It was sealed behind you on purpose, so that the redirection could not be undone by your own worst nights. You cannot go back. Stop grieving that. It is the safest thing that was ever done to you. Number 9. They are rereading the map, looking for the wrong turn. There isn't one. The turn was yours, and it was right. Something has started happening in them this far down their road, and I want you to see it clearly. As the cold sets in, as the narrowing gets undeniable, they have begun to go back over the map, looking for the mistake. Where did it turn wrong? Which decision was the bad one? They are certain there was a single wrong turn somewhere, one afternoon where they should have gone the other way, and if they can just find it, they can explain the cold and maybe still correct it. So they audit. Night after night, they re-walk the map in their minds, hunting the one bad turn. They will not find it because the wrong turn is not on their map. The turn that decided everything was on yours, the one at the barrier, the one you were forced to make, the one you spent years regretting. That turn was the only right turn in the whole story, and it was not theirs to make or find. From inside their map, everything they did was correct. They won the fork. They took the prize road. They kept their rival off it. Every line reads clean, and the road still goes cold. And a person whose every choice reads correct and whose road still goes cold has nowhere left to look, because the answer was never a wrong turn. The answer was that they were on the wrong road from the fork, and the fork was decided by a hand that never touched their map at all. Imagine this: a man checking his math on a long ledger, adding it again and again, certain there is an error in his addition because the total will not come out right. And he never questions the first number, the one he started from, the one he was handed and never checked. Every line after it is added perfectly. The error is not in his arithmetic. The error is in the figure at the top of the page, and he will re-add the same honest column all night before he ever looks up at the number he began with. Because looking up there means admitting the whole page was built on a road he chose at the very start. That is where they live now, chosen one, re-adding a column that was never going to balance. Because the wrong figure is the road itself, and they cannot bear to look at it. And you do not have to search at all, because your turn was made for you, and it was right. And there is nothing in your map to audit. That is the difference between a road with a hand ahead of it and a road without one. On yours, you do not have to find the right turn. It was already found. Here's the line they can't say out loud. Every choice we made was correct, and it still went cold, and that's the part we can't survive. No, you did not make the wrong turn. No, you do not have a mistake buried somewhere in your past that explains the hard years. The turn was made for you at the barrier, and it was the only right one on either map. Let them reread it all night. The wrong turn was never theirs to find because it was never a wrong turn. It was yours, and it was mercy. Number 10. They cannot name what turned you, so they cannot fight it or follow it. Here is what unsettles them most, now that the code has set in and they have started dimly to suspect that your blocked road was the better outcome. They want to know what did it. They want a name, a person, a decision they can point to, someone they could have flattered or bought or beaten. Because if they could name the thing that turned you toward the good road and left them on the cold one, they could fight it or copy it or at least understand it. And they will never name it because it never announced itself. And a thing that goes ahead in the dark and never turns around leaves no name to find. This is the difference between losing to a rival and losing to a redirection. A rival you can study. A rival has a face, a method, a pattern you can learn. But you did not beat them with a method. You were turned by a hand they cannot see. At a fork they thought they won. And there is nothing in that for them to study. They keep looking for your secret, your connection, your advantage, the trick that got you the better road. There is no trick. There is only a hand ahead of you that was never ahead of them. And you cannot reverse engineer a hand you cannot see. Imagine this. A tower going up behind scaffolding on a busy street, wrapped for months, and everyone assumes it is early work, that there is time, that nothing is finished yet. And one morning the scaffolding comes down, and it is not a frame, it is a finished building, glass in every window, lights already on, doors already open, occupied and complete. Nobody watched it get built because the wrapping told them not to look. And now it is far too late to object to a structure that is already standing and already full. Your better road was built like that. Behind wrapping, they never thought to look behind, and by the time they understood it was there, it was finished, and you were already walking it. And this decides what they do next, and what they do next finishes them. A person who cannot name what beat them cannot warn anyone, cannot guard against it, cannot even explain to themselves what to do differently on the cold road they are still walking. So they carry it silently, and a thing carried silently gets heavier, and they begin to hedge every step, suspicious of every fork, unable to trust any road at all, because if the good road could be taken from them by something they never saw, then every road might be. Their instinct, the thing that made them effective, has been turned against them by their own suspicion. Nobody did that to them. The unnameability did it. Here's the line they can't say out loud. We don't even know what turned them. How are we supposed to get it back? No, you do not have a secret they could steal. No, there is nothing to hand over. You were turned by something that has no address, and a redirection with no address cannot be reversed, cannot be bought, cannot be caught. They wanted an enemy they could hold in their hands. They got a turn they were never invited to make. Number 11. You are not a detour. You are the main road now. The one you were blocked from was the detour off your real life. There is a posture you have been carrying, and it is time to set it down. The posture of the one who took the lesser road. Somewhere in you, even now, is the belief that the blocked road was your real life, and the road you are on is the substitute, the backup, the consolation, the thing you got instead of the thing you were meant for. You walk your own road half apologizing for it, as if it were second best, as if you were living the runner-up version of yourself. Put that down. It is exactly backward. The blocked road was the detour. It was the off-ramp that would have taken you away from your real life into a smaller, colder one. The road you are on is not the substitute for your real road. It is your real road. It was always the main line. The block did not send you onto a side road. The block kept you on the main line by closing the side road that was trying to pull you off it. You have had it upside down this whole time, grieving the loss of a detour and apologizing for the highway. Imagine this, a river again, because a river never doubts which way it goes. It does not reach the fork where a canal branches off toward a still reservoir and think, that canal was my real course and this main channel is only what I settled for. It knows the main channel is the river. The canal was a place it could have been drawn off and stopped. The river does not apologize to the reservoir it never filled. It just keeps going, the way it was always going, toward the sea, and the branch it declined dries up behind it without a second thought. You are the main channel, chosen one. Stop apologizing to the reservoir. Here is what changes now, and it changes today in how you walk. You do not walk your road as a consolation. You do not glance back at the blocked one and wonder about the life you did not get. You do not shrink your sense of what this road is because it is not the one you first wanted. You walk it as the main line because it is, and the person who walks their own road as the main line moves differently than the person walking a detour with regret. They will feel the difference before they can name it. They will notice you stopped looking back. They will notice you stopped treating your own life like a substitute for a better one somewhere behind a closed door. Here's the line they can't say out loud. They're not living the backup life. We are. No, you did not settle for the lesser road. No, you are not living the runner-up version of yourself. You were kept